Hi, this is Carol at True Self Unmasked, and welcome. This video is about letting your frequency handle negative people, letting your frequency be your bodyguard, because your frequency shapes your reality. What is your frequency? It's your mood, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your beliefs. It's your internal programming. And since we live in a world where like attracts like, this is a great time to have joyful control over your inner world, because your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. It's just a reflection of your mood, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs. Your state of mind is associated with your emotions and beliefs, meaning your frequency. It's like a magnet. It doesn't just attract people. It sets the tone for how the people treat you too. So I want to tell you a story about how my frequency brought out the best in some unexpected characters in real estate. And you can do the same thing. I once bought a house in New York City with no money down in 2008, and it was a dream deal. I actually trusted my real estate agent. He was the fifth of many agents. And he connected me with a banker, and he connected me with a lawyer. And I was happy because I trusted this agent. And so I trusted the people that he connected me with. Everyone seemed so competent and so supportive. They were so available before the closing. And at the closing, I was surrounded by all of these people that I trusted. They were my dream team. Most of them didn't even sit down during the meeting. They were standing up, looking over the paperwork, my lawyers correcting things and saying this should be this. And I've got my chest puffed out, and I'm feeling confident that I've got the best team, and they're ready to finalize everything, and I'm happy. And I find out that the seller wasn't going to show up, but her lawyer was there. So I said, okay, all right, well, the lawyer will represent the seller. So one detail stood out, because the seller was supposed to clear out her belongings in the basement or pay me $5,000 in cleaning fees. She didn't clean anything out. Every time her children came by, they collected the mail, and they did nothing to clean out the basement. And when I followed up after the closing on the phone, she cursed me out, and she said she'd only give me $1,800 and hung up the phone. Well, she never came to clear out the basement, and it stayed full of trash, and I ended up paying the fees for that. And I just left it alone, because we weren't getting along, and that can happen in real estate. Because she didn't want to leave the house. There's a whole nother story about how she lost her house, and maybe I'll talk about that. And it is about frequency and not honoring yourself. Anyway, months later, the seller calls me in tears. Her lawyer had vanished, along with her entire payment of several hundreds of thousands of dollars for the house that she sold to me. She begged me to check with my lawyer, because my lawyer happened to be friends with her lawyer. And I had already moved in, and I kind of felt sorry for her. So I agreed. I went to see my lawyer, and I discovered something shocking. My lawyer had also disappeared. Apparently, he was a scammer, well known to the police. Oh boy, so here's the twist. I had unknowingly dodged a disaster. Just days after the closing, I had insisted on picking up my check in person, which is really good. After buying a house, no money down, I actually collected a check at closing. And this was not the check from the seller for not cleaning out the basement. I actually had money coming to me at closing. And it was almost $13,000. And I thought it was kind of weird that I didn't get the check at closing. My lawyer said he's going to wait for the check to clear, and he'll give me my portion of the check. He was paid from the closing. And he said once he's paid, he'll write a check to me. So I was fine with that. But I had unknowingly dodged a disaster. Days after the closing, I had insisted on picking up my check in person, because he kept saying he'd mail it to me. And I said, no. I work over there. Because at that time I was doing home care speech therapy. And I was passing by his office frequently. And I said, oh no, I'm just going to come and pick up my check. He kept saying, no, let me mail it to you. So something felt different when they made me wait until after the closing to pay for my check for almost $13,000. I felt it was unusual, but having no experience buying a house in New York, I did what he asked me to. He had been wonderful up until that point. I just wasn't feeling distrust. Anyway, when I went to pick up my check, my lawyer was busy. And before buying the house, he was never this busy. I didn't let it faze me because I was picking up a check. And I was feeling good. And it took 30 minutes and 3 times of trying to walk back to his office to ask for my money, which I used to be able to do. But I was always stopped this time by a woman who I had never seen before. Anyway, she ended up being the one to hand me the check, and I was so excited. I guess she handed me the check because they realized I wasn't going anywhere. And I was just in la-la land excited about getting a check. I deposited it right away because to get money back after buying a house is wonderful. And this check was $12,956. And I didn't know it was just in time. It was really just in time. Had I waited another day, it might have bounced, or maybe they wouldn't have been there, my lawyer and his lady accomplice. Even my mortgage turned out to be predatory. But guess what? I made it work. It motivated me because I had a high monthly payment. It motivated me to renovate the house and beautify the unrentable parts of the home and live there. And I rented out the rest of the house to amazing tenants who paid most of the mortgage, who were grateful for a kind landlord, me. I had been a tenant for decades, and I wanted my tenants to have a good experience when I became a landlord. My portion of the mortgage I had to pay was so small. It was a small fraction of any New York City rent I've ever paid. And over the years, my Brooklyn home quickly appreciated in value, and it provided for me in ways I never imagined. So here's what I learned. Your frequency matters more than the people that you're dealing with. When you expect the best and focus on appreciating everything you have and eager for more. Even when the people are flawed, shady characters can play a role in your success. I trusted, stayed positive, and that energy shaped my experience with these criminals. Because her lawyer ended up being in jail. That's why she couldn't find him. He was incarcerated. Anyway, my frequency protected me. It brought me blessings and turned potential chaos and thievery into a beautiful experience. So, if you want to change your life, don't just look at the people around you, look at your own frequency. It sets the stage for everything. And if you're someone who is struggling with managing your frequency, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, so they are vibrating for your benefit instead of for your detriment, get my book, You're Not Going Crazy, 101 Ways to Silence Your Inner Critic. It is full of easy tools to manage your frequency. And pick the ones you like and leave the rest using the link in the description. I'm here every day. Thank you for watching, and you are welcome to join me again. I'm Carol at True Self Unmasked. Have a good rest of your day or night.